Hello, my name is Agatha, and this is a celebrity tarot reading. This is a reading for Beyonce Knowles, a 21 Gipsy cards tarot reading, and this is part 1. Below I'll leave the links for part 2 and also for the image of the cards that came out. So this is a reading for Beyonce Knowles. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. I do not know Beyonce, and this is not a private reading she has asked me to do. I am not associated in any way with Beyonce Knowles. Please don't sue me. Please, 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 please. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is part 1. Okay, before moving on to the reading, I'd like to explain a little bit more about my preparation method. I meditated for a few minutes, and I asked my guardian angel to connect to Beyonce's guardian angel, so I could give the best reading, the best message possible. I also contacted my higher self, and I asked to connect me to the higher self, to her higher self, and I had the same request. Please help me give the best advice possible, the most beneficial message. I know this all might seem a bit silly, but I feel I must elaborate about my method and explain it. I must clarify also that I am not a medium nor a psychic. I am an ordinary person, and without the tarot cards or without an astrological map, I would know absolutely nothing. What I have is intuition, like we all do. That I do, you can do it also. Okay. Plus, my interpretation must not serve, as I've said before, as medical advice or judicial advice, anything like that must not serve as advice for those types of things. I see my card or my chart interpretation just as another instrument at our disposal, which can be used to help make the best possible decision in whatever area of our life. It is very important, I believe, that the individual makes the final judgment. I believe that in large extent we are masters of our destiny, lords of our own fate. We make our fate depending upon the actions we take. And I hope I'm making myself clear. I just wanted to clarify my method and my feelings. More again, I'm going to add this again. I am not associated, I am not affiliated with Beyonce Knowles in any way. I do not know her. This reading was not made by her request. I have no idea if I'm right or if I'm wrong in my interpretation of the tarot cards. This is for entertainment purposes only, for educational purposes only. That's it. Okay, on to the reading now. I will, throughout the reading, speak as if I'm speaking directly to Miss Beyonce Knowles. I'll be calling her Mrs. Carter. This is just a way that I use to help me interpret the cards better, also to show you how it is, if you decide to have a reading with me, how I do it. Okay, this is a way for you to see how I do it. All my readings are written down. Again, I do not know her. I am not associated with her in any way. Okay. This 21 tarot card reading will look at 7 key areas, Mrs. Carter. Okay, this is the reading itself, okay, of your life, going from past, present to the future. The reading will be relevant for you within the time frame of 6 months to a year, meaning you can see it manifest, Mrs. Carter, in your life for the next 6 to 12 months, more or less up to March 2017. In the image, you and everyone is seeing this, The link is below. You can see the cards going from 1 to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, like below there's these numbers. They are the key areas of your life, and you can see as well A, B, and C. A is the past, B is the present, and C is the future. So row A is the row connected with the past, row B is the row connected to the present, and row C, the up row, is connected to the future. Okay. Key area number 1 is work and opportunities, and the cards that came out were the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, and the Justice card, with the 3 of Swords in the past position. In the sphere of your life connected to work, to me it might have 2 possible meanings. The first is that in the past, in terms of work, there was some backstabbing, maybe some real disappointment. But how can that be? I mean, you're Beyonce. You're one of the most successful artists ever. So this perhaps could relate to when you first started in the business, in the music business, and things didn't immediately started successfully. But that's to be expected in any type of business, in anything related to work, right? Plus, after that, you rose up and your career just blossomed, just took off. The other way of viewing this card is that you, Mr. Carter, personally felt the success you had in the past was insufficient. Maybe you were and still are a perfectionist of some kind. Maybe you felt you were disappointing others and yourself by not presenting your absolute best work. Maybe that. Yet another possibility of reading the 3 of Swords has to do with someone betraying you, causing you pain. I know there were many changes connected with the people you work with in the past few years, and just recently also, I think January or February 2016. So this card might speak to that as well. Also, it might speak that you really felt hurt in terms of you knew you had to make some sort of changes in your work, and you knew, but it still hurt you. It still wounded you making those changes. This is yet another way of reading this card. In the present, the card that showed up was the 9 of Swords, and in it we can see a human figure, and this human figure is unable to sleep at night due to worry. Again, another card which kind of conveys a feeling of disappointment. Maybe you are worried about the path your career is in right now. I really don't understand this card, because from an outside perspective, what I can see as a fan is your extreme in ever-growing success. That's what I see. And yet the card that shows that there's some sort of concern, some fear. Maybe you fear to lose it all. Maybe is that it? You are afraid you will be unable to maintain the level of success you've experienced so far. Is that the case? If that's the case, stop worrying. I think you're fabulous and you're great. And lots and lots of people think the same. Another meaning might be that something connected to your career and work is happening right now, which cannot be seen by the general public, and that's why you are troubled. That's why you can hardly sleep at night if there is some sort of lawsuit. And I only give this as an example. I would say in the future, and this reading is valid, like I said, up to a year, therefore up to March 2017, there might be some sort of settling. If there's some sort of lawsuit, I think it would be settled. The future position shows the Justice card, which is a major arcana card, a very important card. Major arcana cards or trumps are really important cards. So it might mean you are able to finally put your worries to rest and find some inner balance and an ability to stop worrying and to find some sort of calmness, maybe with the aid of meditation. If it's not that, perhaps there might be some court case related to your work. I have no idea if you'll win or not. I said settling. I mean, I don't know why, but I thought settling. But then again, I cannot tell you if there is some sort of court case in the future. I cannot really tell you if that means a win or a loss. But whatever happens, hopefully justice will prevail. And another way of interpreting the justice card is that in the time period of a year, you might be signing or ending a contract. I would say more signing than ending. It does not have necessarily to be connected with the music business. It can be something entirely different. And it could be something new which you've never tried before, but some sort of deal, a new deal might be on the table. Okay? Moving on to area number 2. The key area number 2, which is family. The cards that came out were the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles. I think I mentioned this before that I use the Mini Rider-Waite tarot deck. So the pages usually announce something, so they might even represent an actual message. They also symbolize something totally new, a new endeavor, a new project, a new area of life which is expanding. With the Page of Pentacles in the past position, I would say the card speaks more of your daughter and the willingness to have a child and to build a new foundation more grounded in your family life. To me, it speaks in the past, the Page of Pentacles, of starting your own family, of building your own family unit. It also tells me that you, Mrs. Carter, only had that very strong and grounded feeling of having a family, of having your own family when your child was born. The pages represent young people, usually children, sometimes teenagers, and the pentacles represent the earth element. So I went and checked, and your daughter, Ivy Blue, has a lot, Ivy Blue, right? Or Blue Ivy, Blue Ivy, I'm sorry. Your daughter has a lot of strong earth signs in her birth chart. She has Sun in Capricorn, conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, and that speaks of power, speaks of lots of resilience and inner strength. Plus, her rising sign is in Virgo and is conjunct the planet Mars, also in Virgo. Furthermore, she also has Jupiter in Taurus, another earth sign, and there's a total of 4 other planets according to the according to the astro chart, astro.com. If you check, you'll find it. It's Astrodinst, I don't know how to say this. So there's a total of 4 other planets occupying Earth houses. The Earth houses are the 2nd, the 6th, and the 10th house. And according to the same map, her natal Mercury is also located in the sign of Capricorn. I've seen maps where her natal Mercury is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, and I have seen another map which says that her natal Mercury is at 0 degrees of Capricorn. I really don't know. So what I mean to say, that's a lot of earth placements. I have a lot of fire, for instance, but your daughter, lots and lots of earth elements. And earth signs are really grounded. They are really disciplined, they are practical, they are realistic, and they are pragmatic. Your daughter is going to be a hardworking girl and a hardworking woman. So the Page of Pentacles showing up to me it clearly indicates your daughter, Blue Ivy Carter. Yes, Blue Ivy Carter. So your daughter shows up in your family. In the present, again in the same area, the area of your family. In the present, the card that came out was the Seven of Wands, also called the Seven of Rods. The Seven of Wands usually depicts a person who is fighting an unseen enemy, actually more than one. The figure holds up a stick, while we see another 6 rods being held by other people whom we do not see. And they are about to attack this lonely man, or this man who is alone, like up in the ground, standing the ground. This is a card of being assailed and standing your ground, defending your principles, defending your values, your ideas, not backing down, fighting until your last breath. This is kind of an unsettling card to come up for your family area. I'm sorry. Do you feel like you have to fight for yourself, like you are constantly being criticized? Do you feel like you are under attack by your own family? It doesn't mean that you are. It only means that you feel like that. Okay? Sometimes there's a very big difference in reality and how we perceive reality to be. So someone might just be talking normally to you and you feel that as if it was a personal attack, and sometimes it's not. It's just the way you perceive it, okay? So, like I was saying, it doesn't have to infer an actual attack from someone in your family. It might mean that in some area of your life, your values and the values of your family, this is another way of seeing it, are different somehow. So your family or some family members have some sort of values and you have different sorts of values, okay? And you feel that you need to defend and stand up for your principles and your ideals. It could be that perhaps, I don't exactly know, it could be that, like I said. I don't know, I just interpret the cards as they showed up. It doesn't mean that, I don't know, it could be like your mother, your sibling, your husband, someone in your family. But it doesn't mean that you don't love that person or those people or they don't love you. There might be some difference in terms of values. Something that could even be small, but it's really important to you, but it doesn't really matter that much to them. But it doesn't mean that there's no love, okay? Just a difference in values and this really big need for you to defend them, whatever they are. So, in the future, again, connected to this area, this key area of your life, which is family, in the future, the card appearing was the 8 of Pentacles. For some reason, I thought therapy and working to keep your family grounded, or working to keep the family, and this could be your husband and daughter, or it could be mother, father, siblings, together, anchored, even working all conjointly, more than usual. Or this could be that the routines within your family life are always the same and there's no novelty in your life, in your family life. Oh, there will be, because this is the future card. There will be no novelty in your family life. It's like you all know each other like the back of your hands, and the general feeling is that of boredom. So maybe this card, the 8 of Pentacles, is asking for you to do with your family something new and original, okay? Like go and vacation in a new place, or try new things, or surprise one another. Another way of interpreting it's that you will be spending lots and lots of time in a new project, maybe a new album, but not necessarily. It could be something completely different, something that has nothing to do with music. And you will be working long hours, you will be obsessing with every single little detail so much that you won't have time to spend with your loved ones. If it's not you who's spending all the time in a new endeavor, in a new project, it might be your spouse. Okay, so he might be the one who's behaving like this, like really being obsessed with a new project and obsessing with every tiny little detail and working very hard, so having little time for you and your daughter. So moving on, the area number 3, the key area of your life, number 3, it's lack in yearning or desire and longing. It's lack and wishes, more or less. So the cards that came out for you were the 8 of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Hermit. The whole sensation that these cards give me is that for luck to manifest into your life, Mrs. Carter, you'll have to always leave something behind. Okay, let's see if I can. You'll have to always leave something behind, and you probably know what to leave behind and when to do it on an intuitive level. The luck and the fulfillment of wishes arriving in your life have a cost, probably a painful one, but it manifests along with some sort of spiritual growth and enlightenment, if that makes any type of sense to you, and I hope it does. I'm just reading the cards. Like I said, I do not channel. I merely read the messages which are present in the tarot cards, and I also try at the same time to convey my own general feelings, emotions, and sensations when I read these cards. However, I do not call these emotions and sensations channeling. I don't call them that. I never had that, to tell you the truth. I have intuition like everyone else has intuition, okay? This is not special, okay? So, in the past, in this area of your life, which is lack and yearning, or lack and wishes, or lack and longing, in the past the card appearing is the 8 of Cups. So lack is manifested in your life when you leave something behind, when you abandon an old way of living. And this might even speak of cutting ties with your family or certain family members. I'm sorry to, bring this up. I believe your father is no longer your manager, and that in your heart must have hurt a lot, but it probably was the best thing to do, and also allowed you to have a new life and to grow spiritually. I get a feeling of praying and meditating, of going within yourself and asking God or a higher power to give you advice in how to behave, in what path you should follow. Also, this area of life has to do with, like I said, yearning and wishing, not just luck, more like a soul yearning. And to me, all I see is that your soul's greatest desire is that of spiritual growth up to a master level. I don't know why, it was like my general feeling. Also, in terms of spiritual practices, I would say with the 8 of Cups, in the past, you chose one spiritual practice, you settled in one, which made the most sense to you, and you completely devoted yourself to that spiritual practice. What I get is, your luck comes from your connection to spirit, to source, to God, to whatever you want to call it. And the more connected you are to it, to God, let's call it, the luckier you become. I would dare say you see, and I would dare say you seem to be fully aware of that. That you are very aware of that connection. In the present, and again in this area of your life, Mrs. Carter, you have a major arcana card, which is the Hanged Man, and it could be read in several ways. Again, there's a need to sacrifice something in order for luck to manifest in your life, like sacrificing things that are really not that important, though they might seem as important, but that they're not. Or it is sacrificing something or even someone that or whom is really important to you, but you need to do so to sacrifice this or that person in order for you to have what you yearn for. And the other way of reading the Hanged Man is again in a more spiritual way. And whatever sacrifices or sacrifice you make or are required to make, those sacrifices will serve to fulfill your soul's yearning. And this is just not mere luck, because luck is more focused on the material realm. Okay, your luck, again, this is what I get, comes from God, and your luck is embedded. Your luck has embedded a deep spiritual purpose. There's a spiritual purpose to it. Also, the Hanged Man might speak of a pause. There's another way of reading it, of a break. Like there's not much going on right now and you're spending some quiet and needed time with yourself, resting and reconnecting with the source or God or the universe or whatever you want to call it. For the future, the card which showed up was another major arcana card, the Hermit, and it speaks of seeking your own guiding light, your own spiritual truth, your own way, your own path. I swear, if you were a Buddhist monk somewhere in Asia, I would say you'd be going up a mountain to meditate, to be closer to the source, to find the truth. That's how I see it. So there's many different ways of reading the Hermit card in the future position. You also might feel within a year very much alone. There's another way of reading it. And even as if you have no luck at all. Though I don't see it that way. To me, if there is solitude, if it is solitude which you seek, it's something which you use in a deep, sacred way, in a way to further advance you and your soul's growth. So maybe you'll yearn to be alone, to go on a retreat, to spend time with yourself, to find the spiritual values which are really meaningful to you. This alone time, I would say, you'd use in a very productive way, also, like soul productive, like productive on a soul level, okay? Because the Hermit is connected with Virgo, and Virgo always wants to be productive. Okay, this is part 1, so stay tuned for part 2 of this reading, and when I do it, I'll put the link below, okay? So again, my name is Agatha, and if you're seeing this, if you're Beyonce or not, below there's my services page. You can click on it, and if you'd like to have a private consultation with me, please send an email to dunyaazad@gmail.com, and I'll be delighted to work with you, okay? Bye bye for now.